sleeping 1,000 years without hearing the Buddha's name. When we wake up in the morning, we recite, "I just wake up from my sleep. I vow that all living beings will abide by the enlightenment of all wisdom." When looking around the 10 directions, when we are sleeping, the 5 conscious are not functioning. In the 5 covers, the covers of greed, hatred, stupidity, instability, and suspicion, the cover of sleep means that the living being's mind is covered by the affliction of sleep. In the cover of sleep, living beings cannot advance in the wholesome Dharma, and they sink into the triple realms, and there is no way for them to attain liberation. In the 5 desires, namely wealth, sex, fame, food, and sleep, the desire to sleep hinders a man to practice diligently. For the mundane people, sleep is an enjoyment. In the great vehicle of the extensive 5 Skandhas Shastra, it is thus stated. What is meant by sleeping? It means that a man is not in control of himself. Its nature is delusion. Not in control of the mind means the mind flows on its own in accord in a state of delusion. When this self-nature is uncontrollable, the state of every thought is in confusion. In such a state, the mixture of wholesome Dharma, unwholesome Dharma, and the unrecorded Dharma, false and unwholesome karmas are created. In the long nights of birth and death, mundane men are bound by the afflictions of sleep. As such, they transmigrate from this life to the next, from one realm of existence to the next realm of existence, and they sink into the seas of suffering with no means of respite. So the Buddha sets the times of practice for the bhikkhus that they have to either sit in meditation or reciting the sutras in the first watch of the night. They can take a rest in the second watch, and in the third watch they should practice the walking meditation. A bhikshu must be mindful that death may fall upon him any moment, and to safeguard himself, he must bring forth a mind of fear, just in case he will fall into the seas of sufferings. He should be diligent day and night. In the Sutra of the Buddha's final teaching, it is thus stated, O bhikshus, you should practice the wholesome Dharma in the daytime diligently. Never should you waste your time away. Even in the first and last watch of the night, you should not waste your time. In the middle watch of the night, you should recite the sutras and take some rest. Do not waste your life in idleness and attain nothing. Do not fall asleep. You must try to save yourself, as the whole world is burning in the fire of impermanence. How can you fall asleep when the thief of affliction is waiting for a chance to kill you? They are worse than your enemies. How can you not be frightened? Wake up quickly. The poisonous snake of affliction is sleeping in your mind. It resembles a black cobra which is sleeping in your bedroom. You should hook it out with the hooks of precepts and eradicate it quickly. When the snake of sleep is out, then you can sleep soundly. If you sleep with a snake in your room, you are considered a man who is not remorseful. In the Shastra of transforming oneself with great wisdom, it is thus stated, all of you should not lie down with this corpse. This body of impurities is falsely called a man in worldly terms. It resembles a serious sickness, or a body which is pierced by an arrow, and with all these sufferings, how can we fall asleep? Just like a man who is arrested and tied with ropes, and his life is at stake, how can he sleep facing this disaster? When the thieves of affliction is not eradicated, we are not safe, and it is as though we are sleeping with the poisonous snake in the room, or that our body is pierced by a sharp knife. How can we fall asleep at that time? Sleeping resembles the great darkness, when one have no way to see that it bullies and cheats us so that our mind loses its brightness day by day. When we sleep, our mind is covered up and we cannot see anything. In such a state of great loss, how can we fall asleep? Aniruddha fell asleep when the Buddha was teaching the Sangha. The world honored one scolded him, "Oh, how can you be sleeping now? A shell, a clam, and such species will sleep 1,000 years, and they have no means to hear the Buddha's name." Aniruddha was most shameful, and he practiced diligently for 7 days and nights. He lost his eyesight. The Buddha took pity on him and taught him the Vajra Samadhi of blissful illumination. The Venerable could see everything in the 10 directions when he attained the perfect concentration of illumination. He could see things clearly just as though he was holding a fruit in his palm without using his eyes. When all afflictions were severed, he became an arhat. When the 4 snakes are subdued, the 5 covers are put into extinction. The heavenly gods and dragons will bow to such a cultivator. The Mars, the goblins, on hearing this will be most upset. The elder who relieves the poor in solitude went to see the Buddha for the first time. Conducting himself in the worldly way, he asked the Buddha, "World honored one, do you eat well? Can you sleep well?" The Buddha answered, "When one renounces all afflictions, when the mind is not bound by desires, when one attains the liberation of no leakage, such a man will always sleep well. When all knots of attachment are severed, when the mind is not tortured by afflictions, when the mind dwells in stillness, such a man will sleep peacefully." In the Sutra of the Mindfulness of the Pure Mind, 20 faults of sleeps are listed. A bodhisattva should contemplate the 20 faults of sleeps. 1. Those who enjoy sleeping are lazy people. 2. Their body is always heavy and tired. 3. Their skin is not clear. 4. The skin and flesh are coarse. 5. They are lacking in awesome virtue, and their 4 elements are turbid. 6. The digestive organs do not function properly. 7. The body is often covered with sores and pus. 8. They are not diligent. 9. The nets of delusion are increased. 10. They are lacking in wisdom. 11. They do not have desire to do wholesome deeds. 12. They will tread the path of darkness. 13. People are not respectful towards them. 14. The quality of their living is low and unwise. 15. They are often enveloped in affliction, as their mind is often entangled in worries. 16. They do not wish to do any good deeds. 17. All the wholesome Dharma will decrease. 18. They often live in terror and frights. 19. They slander and scold those who are diligent. 20. On entering the great assembly, they are looked down by others. We Amitabha reciters of the Pure Land Dharma door should always be remorseful. This is because we are unable to sever our afflictions. But Amitabha Buddha does not neglect us. Instead, he gives us a chance to go to his Pure Land, the world of ultimate bliss, to attain Buddhahood. We should be most grateful and repay his kindness by being mindful of him in every thought. That is why we recite Namo Amitabha Buddha in the daytime, and we recite Namo Amitabha at night. When we are happy, we recite Namo Amitabha Buddha. When we are sad and depressed, we call on Namo Amitabha Buddha. When we have rice to eat, we recite Namo Amitabha Buddha. When there is no more rice in our house, we recite Namo Amitabha Buddha more diligently. We are not worried about the death of this body. We should be more worried if our wisdom life is death. Namo Amitabha Buddha.